Hey guys, welcome to the Heart of David. I hope you guys are doing well, because I'm not. I don't even know if I want to do this video. I don't know if I'll cut it off. Usually I just hit play, record. I need your prayers, and I'm going to talk about, the unspeakable topic. Don't be childish. This has to be talked about sometime. See my face? I'm in a lot of pain in my face. If I get a call, by the way, I gotta go off for a second. This is one topic I don't really want to talk about, but it's kind of hard for me to not want to, because it's not the right way to go. It's not the right way to go. First, I'm going to tell you how my pain began back in 2004 and what's happening now, and then I'll talk more about this. I'm sure people watch my channel, some people who do, because they have pain or mental pain or something like that, but I can tell you that this creates mental pain as well. I'm going to hook up, it's not my entire story, but I do have that in a book, but I'll link to this if I even remember, because my face is just throbbing and aching and all that kind of stuff. That suicide was absolutely not an answer to me. And I believe in my heart that people who do commit suicide, I'm not going to say commit, because you know what, commit means it's a crime. I'm doing I'm doing training right now for a crisis line, and learning in it says don't say commit to anyone, because that means it's a crime, but maybe to God it is. I don't want to be one of those people who judges someone, because here's the reality that no one wants to talk about. What about ALS? What happens when you go completely paralyzed and you're just stuck there? What if, like I woke up this morning, what if all you can do is hold your face? The worst pain that I've ever known in my life is what's happening to me right now. You don't see what happens to me in the morning. Absolutely brutal all throughout my face. I got through maybe 2.5 chapters of the Bible, where I'll usually go around maybe 6 or 7. I can't concentrate. I cannot concentrate because it hurts so much in my face. I think that I may have sprained my jaw from the procedure, from keeping my mouth open, but there was also an infection after the procedure. It came on quickly, not from a bad tooth, from taking a good teeth to make way for a partial denture. And I remember my I'm going to go off topic a lot because the pain in my face is bad. By the way, yesterday's video was very tough for me too. I was better yesterday. It was because I forgot to take my pain med. That doesn't happen very often in my videos, but yesterday, you'll see as I go along, I'm getting worse. There are times where I, like right now, just even speaking about this, what do you do when your face is just like pounding and to we're talking nerves of your face, muscles just squeezing in ligaments. I went yesterday and she told me that, they were talking to me for an hour and 20 minutes And they said to me, why didn't you call every day then? I did. I don't generally speak in the morning to anybody, but I called them every single morning. My face really hurts. You know, like why is it like this today but not yesterday? It's you know, your cheekbone here, there's a muscle, your chewing muscle that goes all the way down. So I walked into this procedure not having facial pain at all. I get trigeminal attacks, but those attacks come like lightning quick, okay? That's what I suffer with. They come and they're gone. Like how long I experienced those they're gone as quickly as it came. They're painful, but anyways, what I'm saying is this is induced. So she said my upper, like, you know, to put water in there, can't put the tooth that they took out here at the top. So I had one up here, one in the back here, and two there. And this side is the side that got all messed up. And so right in the back, they had to put a needle in the back, so I'm wondering if it caused damage and it's causing pain all the way up. I don't know. I hope to go there again today. Ah, right there, man. Ah, it's like a friggin' nerve. I can't tell you how much, and then it spreads over the distribution of your whole face. I believe my infection is gone, but this is brutal. So there's that. I understand fully. I empathize, sympathize with people who feel suicidal, because sometimes you don't feel like there's a way out. How are you going to tolerate this? You know, when someone might say to you, well, turn to God, right? There are certain things out there that just saying that to someone may not suffice. Because if you're spending your time holding your face, and we're talking bone pain of your face. So even though it's a nerve or a muscle, it's bone pain. That's what it feels like, crushing. The lights are all bright and everything, and so I don't endorse suicide, and I tell you to go towards God. It's a tough journey, but I'll get to God in a second. Just give me a second. The touchy subject that I think we need to speak about. Sometimes the pain is so bad that you can't even cry. Does anyone know that pain? That would be trigeminal neuralgia. Now, I have had attacks of trigeminal neuralgia 3 different times that lasted for hours. Like, it wouldn't stop. It was just like an ice pick, just and throbbing and stabbing inside, like just brutal. I do have the most painful disorders known to man, adhesive arachnoiditis, but in the absolute acute stage, like shorter attacks, I find this much worse. I feel sorry for people who have persistent trigeminal neuralgia. Pray for those people. It's very unfortunate to have that. I know you're going to want to hear God, but I'm not ready to say that yet. This is just one of those pains that consumes you. So, like, I'm going to talk about what do you do? What do you do when that happens? It would be good already if you were already one with God, right? Because that would put you ahead. And what I mean is being born again. Please learn what that means. So in 2004, I was I was having trouble with abusing medications, benzodiazepines, quite severely. I was a major addict with them, and the reason that happened was because, like, I fell into it because I tried to come off Valium, which I was given when I was 17 years old. I wish I had never been given that, for a panic attack, probably from mixture of medications and drinking over the weekend, so I really never needed it. I didn't know that till much later, but so I was trying to come off of it, and it was in a time where there wasn't much information on the internet, right? Because I'm 46 in like a month, so it's quite a long time ago, and I was out of a lot of trouble in my life. I had come off of it and done 6 months of withdrawal. I'm talking about a therapeutic dose. I wasn't abusing at that point. And so I wanted a new medication to help me with my social anxiety and depression. And I'm not making this, and I will not answer any medical questions on this channel. This is about God. People would follow me around and ask me all those types of questions, like, I just, you don't want to steer people in the wrong way. So I took this medication that was from the 1950s. I had done my due diligence and research. Sorry if the volume's low. I'm going to check if sometimes the volume goes low. Like, it resets itself, and then I find, okay, it's at 100, good. So I did my due diligence. I researched all I could about it, and I found an antidepressant that they don't use anymore that's like 4 or 5 times more effective than anything on the market. I used it, but it had food restrictions on it, and the psychologist that I was speaking to at that time said, I'll give it to you, if you follow this, this, and this, which I did religiously. Because if you eat chocolate, if you have this food or that food, you have a hypertensive crisis. That's a serious thing. I didn't know it had a black box warning on it. I couldn't have. You can't look at every single thing, right, of a medication. There's tens of thousands of things a medication includes. I'll get back to that black box warning. So I took those medications, and I was hoping that my anxiety would disappear. All of a sudden, I felt one day that it was. But I couldn't tell the difference if it was euphoria, though. Because, sure, I knew what euphoria felt like. I'm sure many of us do. But I couldn't tell what is it really like to have anxiety versus not. And eventually it started going into really scary symptoms. And because I was on like mood stabilizers and stuff like that at that time, and I had come off another medication to make way for that, couldn't tell which one it was. And I went into something called the serotonin syndrome. Like, my pupils were changing, I get hot and then I get cold, I go dysphoric, then euphoric. Just brutal. Seeing all kinds of doctors and everything. Anyways, guys, I don't want to get into that too much. It was very scary. That lasted 13 months of hell. I was getting seizures nightly, or what appeared like seizures. They were like convulsions. It was when I was going to bed, my neck would turn violently and my body would jump. They were like myoclonic. So that's part of the serotonin syndrome, is involuntary movements, myoclonic movements. It's very tough to talk. How my pain began, I had so many of these thrashing movements. No doctor was telling me which medication it was. I was more afraid to take one away, and so were they. because I didn't know what would happen. Because you take it away, you end up in like permanent movement disorder type thing. It was scary. I was experiencing, I was going through dementia stages. Not true, but associated with the serotonin syndrome. Like I'd forget things for long periods of time. Eventually, one day I woke up and something was, my neck really, really hurt. And it was a result of the repeated tearing of my neck. And that's where it all began. And this is where the facial pain comes in. So, I wake up one morning, thank God I'm at home with my parents, because I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have them there at that point. I almost feel dissociated in this video. Why? Because my face is being crushed. It just happens. So it began in my cervical region of my neck, in the back, at the right below the base of my skull, and it really hurt, and it started to spread. Boom, went around to my face. I don't know how long it lasted, but it may have been a number of weeks. All I could do was hold my face. I felt like my life was over. This was, I don't know what it was. I don't know what kind of facial pain it was. It could have been occipital neuralgia and trigeminal at the same time. I don't know. I don't know. Because of the things I've been through since, that's the only guess that I take. So I felt like my life was over. And a lot of people with trigeminal neuralgia know exactly what I'm talking about. And with facial pain. This is the one thing that can take your clear concentration away from you. Just give me a sec. I was already on like gabapentin, which is good for nerve pain. And, started me on opiates. It was like morphine, start off on morphine. It wasn't really doing anything. And then all of a sudden that pain in my face, after, I don't know what it was, maybe 1 month, could have been 2 months. I just remember I was out on my driveway in the winter shoveling my driveway. I love shoveling my driveway. I like physical work, okay? And I remember shoveling my sidewalk and trying to push that shovel and being like, it felt like twice as hard. And that's when it spread to my whole body, full body intractable pain, like CRPS, like just burning all the time, just a lot of burning, problems with my skin, can't wear the same clothes anymore. That's why I wear a lot of hoods. That's one reason anyways, they're comfortable. But that was my first intractable pain disorder. And the facial pain, by the way, did dissipate and stop, which I was lucky. So I don't know, I guess I'll stop there. That's how that was. And I'm trying to think of what I'm going to get into next here. I will direct this to God, about God. I don't really remember throughout all of my sufferings, all of the different things I went through. Although I believed in God, I don't remember calling out to God. And I wondered the other week, why is that? Why wasn't I calling out to God? And or that I remember, and I think it was because of the nature and severity of my pain, that I was so consumed that I didn't even do that. Here's my hope. I don't believe suicide is the answer for anything. I'm not going to judge anyone for what they do. It's a very tough topic. Why? Because there are some things, like I said, like ALS, like, people who are about to go into the dementia train of just completely lose your mind. My friend, I miss him. His name is Johnny. There were two Johnnies that I knew, but he had frontal lobe dementia, and he's just things got worse and worse and worse and worse. But I understand those things. No matter what your pain is, whenever that pain goes down, I mean, you can cry out to God. Just cry out to God. You don't have to know about the Bible to cry out to God to ask for help. A lot of people might tell you otherwise, but it isn't. I think it's those types of cries that will lead you to open up a Bible. I don't think my face is always going to be like this, but right now it is. When I went to bed, I was kind of fine. My day was good yesterday. I remember a friend said to me once, he said he liked being around me, hanging around me, because strange things always seem to happen to me, good or bad. Just really strange, I don't know why. The most unlikely things throughout my life seem to have happened, and I hit the lottery of unlikely bad things. If I showed you on a piece of paper, well, if I read them out, you wouldn't believe it. It seems every time. Here's my experience, okay? And when I say that, like I never want to sound like I'm boasting, but it is true. It seems that whenever I put my hands into the care of somebody else, I get hurt. That's what happens. The needle that they put in, right? They had to put more. They probably put in 5 or 6, but when I looked, it said 1 in like 518,000 get a nerve injury. I don't know if it was that, but those are needles going into your mouth, man. So they would have put one straight back. It could have hit a nerve, but I believe it will heal anyways. My pain in my face right now is probably around a 7. I'm just about to go into university. I'm already studying. I've been studying for months. And then all of a sudden that to happen to you, you want to cry out, like, why? I made that video the other day. Go look at it. Lord, why me? This is just a title. I'm not saying. I never say that. But sometimes you kind of want to say, if you've led a life like mine, where you wonder why. That's why I watch those Chosen videos, because I believe certainly there are people picked by God, and we go through pain for certain reasons. Like I said in all my videos, for videos like this, who knows who's on the other end of this video watching this and maybe crying. But you're not alone. You're not alone. What does it say? What does Paul say? God's strength is made perfect in weakness. Why is that? Why is that? That makes me think sometimes that, like, why would you do that, God? Why would you do that? Like, I understand to make the weak things of the world strong, and, like someone who's this alpha dog, to be like, how did that guy do that, right? God does that. To make the wisdom of this world foolishness. trying to think of things I'm going to say, guys. I don't write things down at all. But, you know, in these videos, there's times that I'm going through so much that I don't talk about them. I don't talk about them. I don't want to make my channel about physical suffering. But I guess that's part of it. The heart of David, and I'm telling you my heart. So what do you do? I think I just want to close with this. There is, you know what, if you're going through a lot of suffering, sorry, I'm trying to make time. I'm trying to get to the dentist. Actually, I don't know if they're going to accept me today, but I have a time, so that's why sometimes I rush with my food here. Suicide is not the answer, and it never is. It never is. One of the reasons why I was resorting to suicidal intentions, actions, I tried to take my life on quite a few occasions. And the reasons for those were, I'm not going to say justified, but God wasn't allowing me to get my worthy diagnosis for 13 and 18 years. For one for 13, another for 18 years. I felt so stupid. I was going to all the appointments, doing all the tests I should have. And I was made to suffer. That's what I feel. And you know, the ending of it is good. It's not the answer. I just kept getting more injured as it went along. Just kept getting more injured. No matter what I did, God wouldn't let me die anyways. I don't know if my story reflects even closely to yours because of those things, but I certainly know that people who are chosen by I believe people are chosen by God, and I believe God gives. I want to finish this. I don't know if that's just a fake number. Give me a sec. Hello?
Yeah, hi sir, this is Leo from Canada. How are you?
Yeah, no, thank you. Telemarketers, man, I would never want to be one. Where was I? Just give me a sec, guys. Suicide is never the answer. It never will be your answer. It will take you to a place of hell. Not hell. People say hell, but it will be the lake of fire. Because hell, in the end, so you read in the book of Revelation, is thrown into the lake of fire with the beast and the false prophet. So I know what it's like to go through absolute hell. I know it. I'm going through it right now. It's very uncomfortable, but you can only hope that this too shall pass. You know, I may get off this video right now, and the way my life is sometimes is that I could literally say that to you, and the next second it still crosses my mind. No, I'm not saying I do have those thoughts. I don't have those thoughts anymore. But something could get so bad, right? Something could get so bad to put those, you push those away. And the only way to strengthen up yourself, and this is my conclusion, is to put your faith in God. Because it's reading the Word of God, learning it. Not the traditions of men. Read the Bible. then you'll learn who God is. And by doing so, it'll strengthen your faith in everything you do. Like if this were to happen, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, I might have had, I'm not saying suicide, but, it'd be much easier to give up and to not feel like I want to keep pushing and all that kind of stuff. And so I think you get my point. Being whatever you want to do. Yeah, this is I believe there's two things. People who are already chosen from birth, like Jeremiah, but also he gives us a choice. He's outside of time and space. He watches us. He let it play already. He knows. He knows who's going to choose and not. Sorry, like I food up in that socket. So when I went yesterday, they said that this socket here, it's still like wide open. I don't mean like dry socket, but the pain in it is. It's just very slow healing. Please pray for me for healing and for this pain in my face to stop. Please get on your knees and turn towards Jerusalem. Please say a prayer for me. Guys, God is the answer, and studying the Word of God now will help you later. There is no other way. It's a narrow path in the worst of suffering. So, I think that's about what I have to say. Do not entertain suicide. Do not entertain suicide. And I would say this last thing. So, and this is what I'm confronting. So it's been 8 days since all of this kind of stuff has been going on. Since I've had that procedure. It was 8 days ago. 5 of those days, my face was in a constant 10 and above. You say above 10? How can you get it above 10? It goes to 10, right? Like it's just as bad as it gets. But there are times where it can get worse. Infection can do that. Infection in your mouth is horrific. These are those times that I couldn't read the Bible. So what do you do then? You have to think. You may have all these horrible thoughts about what am I going to do? And for me, it's like, how am I going to go about my life now? How am I going to continue? How am I going to study now? That's more in the morning. It's the worst. My pain meds go up and stuff like that, and eating food, get more energy. But learn it now. God is for you. That's what I have to say. Don't entertain suicide. I do believe it will lead to hell and the lake of fire. God bless, guys.